Jerry Peirson, the head coach at Cowan High School, and Berlin Rowe, the head coach at Muncie Central. They'll be playing in the Thursday night game at 8:15. How does the sectional look to you overall? Who's the strongest team in the sectional, Jerry?
Well, I think that probably the two city schools have to be probably the favorites in the sectional because they are bigger. They play the tough schedule, and this makes them somewhat of a favorite. But I know that the county schools are getting stronger, and they're going to be trying everything that they can to upset the city schools. I think this has been the way it has been for years.
Berlin, who do you think is the favorite in the sectional?
Well, I think that most of the people, just as Jerry said, the two schools here in the city, because of schedule and so forth, but this goes out the window when we start tourney play. There is no real favorite now. It's just like a completely new season, and there's some real good schools in the county. Yorktown's had a real good season. Cowan is doing real well. So we think it's just a toss-up now.
Now, you mentioned the difference between sectional play and regular season play. You say it's a completely new season now. How do you prepare the boys in practice for going into sectional? Do you try to get them up different mentally than you would for a regular season game, or condition them any differently?
Well, I think we have to get them up a little bit different mentally, because a regular scheduled game, you play this, you want to win it if at all possible, but then there's going to be one either the next night or the next week. But now it's one time and you're out. And so you have to impress this on the boys. And we try to put a little bit of pressure on them during practice so that they won't freeze up when the tourney starts.
Jerry, how do you feel about the preparation?
I will agree with Mr. Rowe. This is what we try to impress on the boys, too. And he hit it right on the head there by saying that during the season you have maybe one on Friday and one on Saturday, and it's pretty rough going. But here, you're either in or you're not, and you're going to have to do the job when you're playing, and if you don't, then there's no more tomorrow. So I will agree with what Mr. Rowe had to say. You
could very well be playing the last game of the season, but you don't ever know for sure, right?
That's right.
Can you give us a description of your team for the people who haven't seen it, might be watching for it during sectional time? What kind of a team have you had this year?
Well, we feel like we've been pretty successful. We lost a couple kids early in the year, and this hurt us somewhat, but we don't have a great deal of size, which is fairly typical of most of the county teams, except maybe Yorktown. We have fair size in the pivot, but the rest of the boys are just medium size. And we like to think that our defense is our strongest suit, but at times this is true, and other times it isn't. But we think that as far as our team goes, that we have fairly balanced scoring. We never know who's going to be the scoring leader any particular night, and that most of our kids are fairly consistent. They're just about the same type of players. We don't have any outstanding All-American type of ball players. All-state ball players are all fairly close as far as ability goes, and so we try to work with them around this. This makes for better teamwork and things like this. This is the type of team that we have.
Berlin, can you give us a thumbnail sketch of the Bearcats this year?
Well, we're a young ball club. We've been starting 4 juniors and 1 senior all year long. We have a little more size than they have. We've got a couple of boys around the 6'5". Our guards are about 6 foot, maybe 6'1". But we're fairly strong. We're not fast because of their size. For instance, 6'5", and they weigh 190, 195. So we're not fast, but they are pretty rugged type of boys. And this is a type of game that we have to play. But they're a good group of kids, and they work very hard.